Hello once again, guys. Here I am, Constance. I am Constance, and we're on the second board of descriptive writing. See, number 2. We have just finished number 1, and now we are going to be talking about dealing with number 2. All right, so a continuation of descriptive writing. So description may serve the following purposes: giving a clear, detailed impression of a character, creating mood or atmosphere of a particular place. So first, give a clear, detailed impression of a character. So it might say the person has red hair, blue eyes, brown eyes, thick lips, or something of that effect. Creating mood or atmosphere of a particular place. So was the clouds dark? Was it sunny and bright? Was it raining? All right, was it snowing? Okay, so you create the atmosphere to give the reader an impression, or tell the reader what the atmosphere is like, or what the atmosphere those characters have to be dealing with. All right, organizing events in a particular time sequence. Organizing events in a particular time sequence. So what time was it? Was it 12 o'clock? So the mood of 12 o'clock and the mood of 7 o'clock in the morning are two different kinds of moods. All right, so it depends on the time. So you could write in your story 7 o'clock in the morning after breakfast, A, B, and C happened. 12 o'clock, something else happened. They didn't have lunch, but something happened. The sun was going down, or something of that effect. Okay, so you tell the different sequence of time in your story. When we describe a person, we make certain choices. Okay, when we describe a person, we make certain choices, and those choices is what we are saying about them. All right, so how we order the points of description. All right, so example 1, how we order the point of description. Sorry about that. The language that is appropriate for the person we are describing. So number 1, how we order the points of description. So the points of descriptions could be their face. We're talking about their face, what they do. All right, say for like instance a makeup artist, you talk about they're fixing their face for makeup, or fixing a client face with makeup, or something happened while they're doing that. All right, or a cook, somebody who's into culinary arts, so he cooks breakfast or something for his guests, or something of that effect. So you have the different points and make sure those points match up. Okay, so he cannot be a cook and then he's a shoemaker. All right, no, yeah, if you're talking about the character cooking, let it be about him cooking. All right, the character might have gone to someplace else and does something else, but you have to make that point that he has gone to that place and has done something else. All right, so the different points of the character. So that is what this is saying right here. Okay, the language that is appropriate for the person we are describing. So for instance, if you're talking about a nurse, you could address medical issues. You could address the hospital and medical facilities, their uniform, the patients around them, their colleagues. All right, if it's a police officer, you could address criminals. You could address his colleagues, his uniform. Okay, criminal activities that he has to go through the different offices, like a detective or a sergeant or a constable, the different avenues or different areas of his work that he has to deal with, all right? So the language that is appropriate for the person we are describing, we are talking about. So you use in your story, you use the language that is appropriate in dealing with that specific character, all right? Okay, we will need to give details of the person's physical appearance. Additionally, we may record our judgment about the person's life or character. Okay, our judgment could be correct and it could be incorrect. Our judgment doesn't necessarily has to be the facts. All right, so it says there you could record our judgment. We can record our judgment about the person's life or character. So our judgment is what we conclude about that person, all right? Okay, we should also consider other people's reaction to the person's qualities, attitude, and general behavior. So those person's reaction that we should consider should be persons or readers, the persons who we are entertaining in our writing. All right, so if you're writing something and you're entertaining your reader, what your reader is going to think about how you put the characters in the appropriate setting, and what areas of images are you using to bring out those characters and their behaviors. All right, so that is what this is saying. We should also consider other people, other persons' reaction to the person's qualities, attitude, and general behavior. So at the end of the story, you might be sad, you might be happy, you might get inspired, you can get encouraged, you might get motivated, right? So that is what the story is going to be doing to you. You might be get captivated, okay, mesmerized. You can get all those different feelings after you have finished reading the narratives. Okay, number 3, a description of a person reflects our observation. A description of a person reflects our observation. So it reflects how do we see the person. Because I can see the person one way and the next person can see the person another way. So I can see a person, say, as wearing dirty clothes, and I can consider that person mad or insane. He's, he's cuckoo. Someone else might see that person and say, he's not mad, but he's only poor. So he doesn't have money to buy good clothes or to fix up himself or herself to look appropriate in society. All right? So a description of a person reflects our observation of that person's physical appearance, as well as his or her personal qualities. Okay, that person's personal qualities. So the person's personal qualities might show, and you can address that in your story, as well as it could be covert, it could be secretive, it could be covered, and you might just assume or conclude that such and such about that person, but it might not be the fact. So that you will be making a judgment call on that person. You're not sure, all right? So you only assume that the person could be rich, or you could assume that the person is poor, because some person dress up and look so good, but yet still they don't have any money. And some people look so raggedy and they could be wealthy. There was a man I know of that used to push carts on the street, and when he died, they found that he was a millionaire. All right? So it's how you see the person. So those are things that will, captivate your mind. All right? So this is number 2 of descriptive writing. I look to see you in my next class So I'll see you then. Bye bye.